Kia ora, welcome to this episode of The Amateur Austenite. I'm Frances Duncan, author, Austenite life coach. My co-host is Rachel Pilwer, book buyer, Austenite, all-round nerd.
Hi!
Today we're discussing the very last chapter of Emma.
It's the end!
It really is. I'm going to kill her after this.
No, please save me! Jane, come back to life and keep writing Emma, please!
In chapter 55, Harriet's parentage is revealed, and Emma begins to distance herself from Harriet. Harriet gets married.
Woo!
Eventually, Emma and Knightley marry after Mr. Woodhouse is too scared to live in his own house without another man.
Bro, you've been doing that this whole time. It's nice to have Harriet's lineage kind of all wrapped up in this chapter. It's been this very minor mystery throughout the book. Actually, who is Harriet? And how we know?
Her father was a tradesman. He's got plenty of money to look after her, but he's decent, so he always wished to conceal her parentage. And Emma's like, this was the blood of gentility, the stain of illegitimacy unbleached by nobility or wealth would have been a stain indeed. This is so hard for us to understand. Harriet is gutter trash. She would never be enough to marry even Mr. Elton. But luckily, Robert Martin has loved her the entire time, and she liked him, and him continuing to like her was irresistible.
And he's a good person who doesn't give a shit about her lineage. You're a nice, pretty lady, and my sisters are your friends, and they like you, and I got to know you, and I think you're pretty cool. So, hey, Harriet, let's get married.
He was treated liberally by her father, which I assume means gives her a good dowry to set her up in marriage. He's introduced at Hartfield, and Emma realises he is the best guy for Harriet.
And in
general. He's sensible, he's worthy, he's good-tempered, he'll put her in a good situation, retired enough for safety and occupied enough for cheerfulness. Does sound a little bit like she's a misbehaving child.
Here, have some pretty colouring.
But their friendship must sink and change into a calmer sort of goodwill. Why? Why must Harriet and Emma stop being friends if they could be friends before? Now that she's being married and is going to stay in that particular rank of society, she's not good enough for Emma?
Okay, so her dad's a tradesman, and that don't impress me much. Nothing about Harriet's situation has changed, except that she's now engaged to be married. If the husbands can socialise and be on good terms, why can't their wives? It just makes such little sense to me. And it's like, even if she is illegitimate, you didn't know if she was legitimate before anyway.
It's okay if you're illegitimate if you're like a secret princess or something. Well, to a certain extent. I mean, there are still places that wouldn't let you in. But I feel like they'd have more in common now when they're both getting married for the first time than they ever did before.
They're both perfectly happy in their relationships.
Emma had pulled Harriet away from her friendship with the whole Martin family. And you know, when she gets married, she's going to go back into spending time with the mother and the sisters. She'll be so happy and her life will be well-rounded.
How much do you think that the Martin women bitched about Emma when Emma intervened and got Harriet to, like, break off with them? I pretty much would have been like, wow, Harriet would be with us if only it hadn't been for that pesky Miss Woodhouse. And a little dog too.
We're given the impression that they're really lovely people, so unlikely to do that. But it seems so weird to not. You can be a lovely person
and still be mad about a situation and complain about it.
Yeah.
They do it out of a love for Harriet. They wouldn't be bitchy just to be bitchy. It would be because they are upset. Their brother's heart has been broken, not just by Harriet, but because of Emma's influence.
But if they were that upset, would they then potentially stop their brother from continuing to pursue Harriet?
No, because they're nice people and they would understand that he still loves her.
Messy.
You can be good people and still bitch about people. They're not mutually exclusive things. And this is just speculation because we don't know that they do that. But come on.
They get married. They're the last people to get engaged and the first to be married. Because they should have been the first married.
Yeah.
They should have been married for the last 6 months or something.
They know each other so well. And I think it secures Harriet's position. You're going to get married anyway. Let's just do it now. It's not like they don't have the funds for a big wedding, but it's like, you know, it's not like they really have to have anyone they need to wait to travel to come to the wedding or anything, you know?
They didn't have big weddings. Lots of people didn't come and you could do it on short notice because Emma and Mr. Knightley continue talking about their wedding. We would like it sometime soon as we can convince Mr. Woodhouse that it's a good idea. They want to do it while John and Isabella are there because they want to go on a honeymoon for 2 weeks. So John and Isabella must be at Hartfield for a really long time.
Long enough for them to be there for the wedding and then 2 weeks afterwards.
And before that, because they've just brought Harriet home.
Oh, of course.
She's gotten married.
I'm going to rough and say they're there for roughly like 2 months.
Wow. So the thing that convinces Mr. Woodhouse is that Mrs. Weston's turkeys have been stolen. And other poultry yards in the neighbourhood have also suffered. It's housebreaking. He was very uneasy, and he's so grateful to have Mr. John Knightley. Otherwise, he would have been under wretched alarm. The Mr. Knightleys demanded his fullest dependence. While either of them protected him and his, Hartfield was safe. And that's how they convinced that the wedding's going to happen. There's like 2 sentences after that.
It's really all about how Mr. Woodhouse feels about being home alone.
And then it ends with Mrs. Elton bitching about the wedding being shabby. Not that she got to go, but what she heard.
Love that she wasn't invited.
It really does end with a wedding.
Yeah, it says there specifically that within a month of the marriage of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Martin to join the hands of Miss Knightley and Miss Woodhouse. So, yeah, they would have gotten married pretty quickly. They get Harriet back. I assume there's like a week or 2 between them getting married. And then maybe another week or 2. And then they go away. Do they go away immediately? Do people go away immediately for their honeymoon back then?
It seems to be that this is their plan. Because they can't leave Mr. Woodhouse alone. I shouldn't laugh. Whether he thinks he's sick or he's actually sick, he does need support.
Yeah. Who do you think is his favourite son-in-law?
Probably Mr. George Knightley, because he's there all the time. He doesn't make fun of him the way Mr. John Knightley does.
Yeah.
He's always
Actually,
considerate.
You saying that, George is going to come and live with him so he doesn't have to leave his house and so his daughter doesn't have to leave him. But John stole Isabella away.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
John took Isabella away from him and took her to London where it's not safe.
How dare he?
How dare he?
Jane and Frank will get married eventually. Jane's gone back to stay with the Campbells in London, and both Mr. Churchills are in town. They've obviously just followed Jane there.
Which just seems to be Frank's whole narrative. Unless his aunt is sick, he's just following Jane around like a puppy.
And they're waiting for the appropriate period of mourning to be over, presumably before they can announce their engagement, because I don't think they'll be able to marry immediately till after a year, probably.
Yeah, I guess I hadn't thought about mourning periods as how long that tends to last, because I've always assumed it's kind of different depending on the situation. But
yeah, it is.
Yeah, I guess like a year. How long have they been engaged for?
They've been engaged for like a year at this point.
Long engagement for them.
Yeah. Harriet gets married at the end of September, and the Emmas not long after that in October. In October, they were in Weymouth and getting engaged. So it's been a whole year.
Dang.
Which seems like a really long time, but remember in Sense and Sensibility, Edward and Lucy were engaged for 4 years. Although that never came to anything.
That never came to anything. Because she left him for his brother.
He had the money. That's what she was marrying him for.
Yeah, she was marrying for money.
So marry the guy that's got the money.
Edward got out of that situation lucky.
He got real lucky. What different things did you notice on this reading?
It's incredibly hard to miss Mr. Woodhouse being so neurotic. We talked a lot throughout the book about gentle selfishness. He is doing a little bit out of thought of other people. He's not just thinking about himself. His needs always need to be catered to. I feel like there was a lot more about Mr. Woodhouse that I actually paid attention to in this reading that I've never done before. I've always thought of him as just like comic relief and then just moved on. We had a big discussion about what his relationship would have been like with his parents and his wife and how he would have been raised, and I think that's something I just never considered before.
I think we trashed Frank a lot more than I have on previous readings. And realising how into Jane Emma is, that I'd not noticed. People always talk about her and Harriet, but the way she talks about Jane.
Emma and Jane, it's an enemies to lovers romance. We could have got rid of the men and still had a really good read.
Any final thoughts?
I'm kind of sad it's over. We've done it.
Yeah.
55 chapters.
So it's not completely over.
No.
The novel itself is, but then we're going to look at some adaptations, as many as we can. There are a lot. And then next season, we're doing Sense and Sensibility.
Woo! Been a long time since I read Sense and Sensibility as well.
We will be alternating chapters for Sense and Sensibility with you as co-host and with Emma Dunning as co-host.
Woo!
That's our discussion of the entire novel of Emma. I've been Frances Duncan. This has been Rachel Pula.
Bye!
Thank you for listening, and we wish you happy reading and then happy watching.
Yeah, looking forward to it.
If you wanted to choose a Sense or Sensibility, you could.
I think neither of us are very sensible. She's my wife, we can say that.